What is up, everybody? This is Coach Steve on the Coach Steve Show. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the podcast. If this is your first time listening or watching, please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to it on Apple or Spotify, please rate it, give a review, get notified when a new episode drops out. Would be much appreciated. Today's a little different. Going live here on YouTube and on X or Twitter, whichever you call it. To get back into simple offense or a simple defensive segment for football coaches. This is just here to talk ball. So if you're watching, comment down below that you're here. Give a thumbs up that if everything sounds good. Wherever you're watching it, YouTube, X, Facebook, whatever it is. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of inside zone and RPOs. Just everybody runs it. Let's just talk about some simple RPOs if you're watching. Again, comment, be a part of the conversation. Tell me your favorite inside zone type of RPOs. Now, again, if you're new into coaching, everything else, inside zone is your typical RPO because you have, again, RPO is run, pass, option. So it gives that quarterback the possibility of handing the ball off or keeping it running or throwing it. And there's different ways. We're going to discuss all those today. So if you're again, please comment. You're watching even on X. If you can comment, thumbs up, everything sounds good, whatever, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. So let's get this shared screen going. Hopefully everybody can see it. If you can't see it, let me know. Okay, so this past year, it's drawn in pistol. Right here would be like our spread right, our X and our H on the left side. Y and Z are on the right side. Our X is on, our Y is on. We were strictly pistol, so it changed the RPO a little bit. Now, for people out there, traditionally you would go sidecar when they're in the shotgun spread era here because they feel that the running back will get to the line of scrimmage faster. And it allows the quarterback to he's not quite opening up all the way when you're running pistol. You got to step back and run like this. And it eliminates any type of backside throw. Now, to me, I always a downhill action, especially on inside zone, but then it helps you run wide zone. I'm not a big fan of wide zone from sidecar. It's too much of to me, in high school, a hard read, but you could do it however you please. Now, it depends on what type of RPO you're trying, and to me, there's a bunch of different types of RPOs. Again, run, pass, option, and there's different levels. You got first level, you got second level, you got third level. We don't really, and I dabbled in it. It's very difficult to try to get into the 3-level ones because in high school, especially now in high school, you get 3 yards for your lineman to get downfield. The problem is sometimes they might take off, and now they are downfield illegally. If you misread it on the 3rd level, quarterbacks now have scrambling around, taking off and running. So it just kind of all depends here. The simplest RPO for me with my experiences, and it's the most simplest one, obviously, is your inside zone. You can call it release. You can call it slip, whatever you please. And this just allows the quarterback to read one person. I believe in the quarterback reading one person. If you're asking him to read, especially if it's a pass, to read 2 people to me is very difficult. So let's just say we're in a wing right. So if we're in a wing right, XH still on the left side. Y is now your wing or a sniffer, whatever you want to call it. Some people put an H there. Old school F, which is fullback. Your Z is now on. So this would be like an inside zone right release. It could be called inside zone right slip. It could be called whatever you want. I've always been around calling it release or slip because he's slipping out. He's releasing out anything else. So you're running inside zone up front, however you want to do it. If it's traditional inside zone where everybody's just kind of stepping to block, you're all good with it. So right now our right tackle would kick out the 5 technique. Our right guard would kick out the 3. Center has a backside 1. To me, he's uncovered, but he's still going to fire out straight out. with his eyes peeled to this Mike linebacker. This Mike linebacker will probably lined up a little more tight now that we brought in a wing. So the center would be looking at that one. He's kind of with his eyes looking at that Mike. If the one technique loops in, the center just takes him, and the left guard continues on that path. So we're still using the double team techniques and the old school inside zone. This is where we got to talk about communication. You got to tell the quarterback, okay, on a typical inside zone for us, we're reading that defensive end anyway. So that defensive end, if he just sits there, you hand the ball off, he crashes in, you pull it. This is taking our triple option, old school triple option looks into this RPO world. You can have your H and your X not really block unless you're having your slip guy go right down the line of scrimmage and it becomes a screen. We have them just run. You can run. I know it's a weird looking vertical route, but they're selling it, getting out here, going, trying to get their eyes like the outside linebacker and trying to get the free safety to kind of look. So we sell that going up. They can stock block, whatever you want. Our X does an outside release, trying to get that corner to really look at him to get away from this. So on like a traditional inside zone and you have a wing, I always tell the wing to go the opposite. So typically they've been blocking here. You get blocking. It's almost a automatic handoff because your left tackle, like everything should be covered, right? Like it's like a wham, a trap. Well, you do that a couple times. Now we can release him. And so this RPO becomes, he's going to go, he's going to fake block. The wing is actually also reading the defensive end. The defensive end comes crashing in and it's right at him. He can go right underneath of him if he comes flying up the field. So if my hand right here is the defensive end, the wing, he's coming, sits there, he just keeps on that path and goes by him. He comes flying up the field. Cool. I go underneath of him. And that's all it is. So now we try to tell him the line of scrimmage, but I know he's going to drift, but he's just keeps running to the sideline. Our Z on the backside is just running this little drag also, and once he gets there and we're looking to get the ball to the Y, he can turn into a blocker. So quarterback is opening up. It's inside zone right. He's going to open up to the left here. Tailback's going to step, get downhill. Quarterback's eyes are peeled to this defensive end. Defensive end sits there, collides with the wing, hand the ball off. It just becomes our traditional inside zone seal. If he comes crashing down the line, he's going to pull the ball and look to get the guy here. Now, when he keeps it, he's got to get depth, run here, and immediately get the ball off. And the reason why, again, I don't like the H and the X blocking is because if you do block too soon and they're past the line of scrimmage, you can get that particular ref. It's illegal walking downfield and everything else. We just want to avoid all of those things. So to me right here, this is like our tradition, like one of the most easiest RPOs that you can have. It comes from the triple option days where he's reading it and instead of having a pitch, he's looking to throw it there. So that's just one of the simplest RPOs you can have off of inside zone. I don't know if anybody watching live is, I think everybody in the world does this. That's why it's the easiest. One question I've always asked is the reason why we tell our wing to go down the line of scrimmage is because in the past we've had our quarterback holds on to the ball too long and our linemen are getting downfield, right? Like this left tackle, if he gets underneath and just takes off and he's 4 yards on the field and then we throw it, we've gotten away with it. Offensive guys, we seem to get away with a lot. And I'm not complaining, but there's times where it's going to get called. Sometimes, because this isn't an automatic keep and throw, right? He can hand the ball off. And so we can't really tell our linemen to not block, not slow down. I don't know. Does anybody out there have like a word for the lineman to say like a slow play for their inside zone? That was something I dabbled with. So I told our linemen if they got told like their inside zone slip, instead of maybe like, because like our left guard and center, they're going to spend more time on that one technique, so they're not going to get downfield. Right tackle, right guard are covered, so they're not going to get downfield. They're going to be taking care of those guys. But like for our left tackle, or even our center takes off. So I told our linemen in the huddle, You get told slip. You hear the word slip. It starts with an SL. We're slow playing it. And so what that means is if the left tackle, obviously, to me, is uncovered, he's going to do what I got from Coach Rudolph at Ohio University, and he's going to scooch. Where if my two hands are his feet, if you can see that, he's going to step, kind of like a little, but it's like boom, boom, then get up the field. Now I know it's still moving fast, but that's the technique. So now we're moving almost lateral. Okay. So that's going to take an extra slow play in it. And then also slow playing it, the eyes are peeled to that backer. If he sees him going out with the slip, don't chase him. He's going to look back to the one technique. If he looped, if he's just sitting there, he's going to do his scooch, 1, 2, then go. And it's like a slow play. And I had to tell our running backs it's going to be a slow play if you get the ball handed off, because I did not want to have guys downfield. You got a young quarterback like we did. He's just going to keep the ball, and it's just going to take a longer developing play. So those are little tips. I think if you run into those same problems, they're not problems that you run into all the time. But if you're dealing with a young quarterback, maybe you're dealing with a young wing, maybe you're dealing with first-time starter offensive linemen, you've got to be able to slow it down a little bit or slow play it so that way they're not getting all the way downfield. So to me, that's the simplest RPO attached to inside zone. The next one that everybody in the world does, and one thing that I like when you could do it with a wing, you could do it with whatever. Right now would be obviously a bubble or a now screen. And what you could do, you could have your Y just do his release. I don't know what just happened there. Could do his release and go block, especially if it was like a now screen. So the H can go block or block the most dangerous. The Y is getting up there to block. Your X, like a now screen, boom, throw it there. The problem with something like this, and this is something I really hope that people watching can comment on this, when you start getting to like bubble screens and now screens, and it's a with an inside zone. Now, if it's pre-snap, like, hey, pre-snap, if you can throw it out there, cool, boom. To me, this would be like a pre-snap, right? Where, okay, if you can throw it, we tag the bubble onto it. Why? You're going to leave the defensive end alone. You're going to go block. It's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Excuse me. And boom. So everything's inside zone right up front. Step. Running back might get it, might not. If it's pre-snap, he's just going to clear him. Quarterback can we could put a towel down there. He could just go to get his towel and just kind of wave at him. It's subtle. So if he's wiping his towel, just go like this, which means I'm fanning him off. So he's not going to take that. The running back's not going to take the full step. Just kind of fake it and immediately throw that. Especially in this look, you could do that. So that way, if he does get the ball, he can run behind any of these blockers. Boom. The box is seeing inside zone, seeing the running back take that side step. And that's why I like pistol, because it gives that illusion to it. Some coaches, when you do an RPO, they will automatically call a bubble. And sometimes it's pre-snap, sometimes it's not. But let's just say another really, really simple one is just double slants, right? Here's where the problem comes in for me. So let's say spread right. So the Y is on the line of scrimmage. Z is now off. The X and the H haven't changed. Easiest one for me is a double slant, right? So if it's a double slant RPO, and you could tell the Y and everybody, like, hey, you guys are blocking. So you're going to go block for most dangerous. I've been at a school where that happens. So the people that are away from that side of inside zone are blocking. So if it's inside zone right and it's going that way, you are blocking. When it's away, you are running the RPO. So this play call could be whatever you want, right? So we're running double slants, and I like when the quarterback only has to read one person. So now that slip is like a first level RPO. To me, this would be a second level because I want the quarterback to read this outside linebacker. Okay. So this outside linebacker, now that we're spread out a little bit, jumps head up. Okay. The reason why I want you to read him is because when we turn to fake this, does he run down because he sees everybody blocking, runs right behind him, throws it? And also, if he's already looking that way, this is where it takes a little bit of practice. The reason why there's double slants, let's say he jams this guy up, follows him because it's man. If it's zone, he drops it, could be there. Read whatever he does. Jams him up, runs with him. This could be wide open also. So that's why it's a second level RPO. Now, here's what scares me to death when I want him to read just the outside linebacker. Our traditional inside zone, even our slip, even our seal, we usually do not block the defensive end. If you let both of these guys go, the quarterback now is reading this outside linebacker, the jack linebacker, whatever you want to call him, the overhang, whatever you want to call him. Now he's got to look at the defensive end. If the defensive end is not blocked and is coming straight for the quarterback while he's trying to read this, is going to panic. And now your quarterback might take an unnecessary hit. So to go spread like this, we would lock it, stay home, whatever you want to call it. Left tackle now is going to go block this guy. So now everyone else stays the same, but now he's reading this outside backer. And if this guy triggers down because he sees this guy blocking out, and he's like, oh, it's a run, thinks he can go here, boom, throw it right behind him on the slant. I like locking it because now it gives the quarterback one less problem to deal with. Well, Coach Steve, who's got the will? That's running back's job. So when he's reading this, this is who he would have. So if this will sees this, blitzes really hard, that running back just takes him, run faking it to lower his shoulder on him. As soon as he gets past the quarterback, he doesn't get the ball, just immediately goes and blocks him. That's him. Quarterback reads it wrong, or if this guy, stays with this, and let's just say the free safety drops down and there's no clear picture here, not really reading the free safety, but you're telling the quarterback, read that outside linebacker to open grass. That's what you're looking at in that window. So right here, look in that window and see if there's anything there, right? So you're telling them to read a person and an area. What will hurt this is if that happens and he hands the ball off, because this guy is unblocked. The hope is, since inside zone for me and coaches that I've been around, this is a downhill run play. So hopefully he's getting back to the line of scrimmage to 2 yards. And you also have to tell the running back, this may be one, because we give them 3 options on our inside zone. You're going to bang it up, you're going to bend it, you're going to bounce, right? Well, that will linebacker is right there, we're literally at the line of scrimmage. You're going to have to, that bang it up may not be there. You're going to have to bounce it, or that cut, and just lower your shoulder and get downhill, right? And that's what we teach the running backs. That's what we tell them to do. And this is just a simple inside zone way there as well. Another thing you can do, let's go to the right side. We're neglecting the right side here. Now, if you wanted to flip it on that exact same play and it was inside zone left, your H and your X are now blocking, and your Y and your Z are now running your double slants. With that same play, you don't have to be spread anymore. If you really want to protect the quarterback and you want to make sure that will backer is blocked, you can go in a wing set. Hopefully the box stays the same. They could go to a one high type of look. They could walk him down a little bit to give you that type of look. So they can go one high. They can bring this guy down. He jumps over. Different stuff that defenses can do. Now, you don't have to tell the left tackle to stay home. If you're traditionally your first, you can call it seal, whatever you want, whatever the play is. They're still running double slants on the side. Z is now going to go block. Your Y now, if you're telling him to seal, he's got that. So now your left tackle, don't know what I just did there. Me and technology just do not get along. Is got that area, right? So if that will does give you a problem, you're dealing with new running backs, like younger ones, you got a backup in, whatever it is, that Y can now handle that defensive end. If he does hand the ball off, you have an extra blocker. Again, all he's going to read is that outside linebacker. This one, with the slow playing, if you feel more comfortable with it and you have more success with it, You could still slow play it and tell them, okay, whatever it is, if you want to call it seal, like slow, whatever, however you want to get it to your lineman, they can slow play it. This one, since he's not rolling out, since the quarterback is not trying to get depth and it's not, or you're anything like that, this is more fast. That guy's going to make a decision in that split moment, right? And so you don't necessarily have to slow play this unless your linemen are getting downfield and you have to tell them, tackles, whoever it is, if you just want to tell the tackles, hey, you hear inside zone with some word afterwards, you are slow playing it. You're doing your scooch technique. You're doing your scooch load step to get to that spot to slow them down a little bit. That's totally fine. This one, you don't necessarily, for me, have to slow play it because we are taking care of everything here. If we hand the ball off, we got extra blockers. We still got an RPO with our double slants there. And life should hopefully be good. Now, I know this is way easier to be drawn up. Defensive coordinators are super smart and are able to adapt and take things away. They go man. It's very difficult. But I always want to make sure that the quarterback has an out, whether he's keeping it, handing it off, whatever it is. He needs options to get rid of the ball, right? So if we go back to our spread, so hopefully we can get him to more of a 2x2 look. Okay. We can run the stick concept from even the old air raid. So our stick concept, we get an outside release. Our Y is running that hitch. You can even make it to where he whips out, however you want to run the traditional one. Back here, they run double slants. Our X and our H run double slants. Our Y is running that hitch to a whip, and Z has outside release. So you could still run this as an RPO. Well, Coach Steve, you just said if the backside of your inside zone is running the blocking RPO, yes, I get that. So you could have just this front side, and they can be blocking to hand it off. To me, running a route, that's just one way we've done it. I'm not saying that's how we do it, but that's just the school I was at, just giving you extra options. This one, running slants is almost as good as blocking because if they're in man, you're RPOing, they're running man. Hopefully you can that's just as good as blocking because they're staring at you. Or even if they're in zone, especially in high school, to me, it could be just as good as blocking if you have disciplined wide receivers that are actually going to run their route hard. You can even tell whatever it is. Now, this type of RPO, there's two different ways here we can go about this. If you're running the stick concept, in the air raid stick concept, the backside slants are pre-snap. Pre-snap, if he thinks he's got it, he's going to pull the ball and throw it. To make life easy, make that the same. Just keep it the same. If this is your play and you're just tagging inside zone to it, keep it the same. Okay? Because you don't want to confuse your quarterback at all. Tell him, okay, we're tagging stick. This could be this right here. This play would be like inside zone left stick. Okay. It's telling the receivers there's inside zone happening up front. Nothing changes for you. You are running stick. It only changes for the lineman, obviously, because they're not pass blocking. It changes for the quarterback because he's meshing inside zone. And for the running back, because obviously he's meshing inside zone. Pre-snap, quarterback likes that throw. He likes the throw to the double slants. Do whatever signal you want. He's wiping his hand, wave him off or clear him out, right? He's going to churn and throw it. But so that part's the same. Up front, going to block inside zone. So if it's the same front that we just had drawn up, we have a 5 technique, a 1 technique, a 3, and a 5. Left tackle's cover. He's going to go get him. Center's cover. He's going to go get him. Left guard, his eyes are peeled to that will, but he's going to fire straight out in case this nose loops. So he is looking towards that will. Now, again, you're in spread. You have nobody to take care of that defensive end. He's got to go get that defensive end. So like in the huddle, it could be, hey, spread right, inside zone left, stick, lock, whatever it is. And that your tackle knows, or home, whatever it is, he knows that he's got to stay there. which then so it's you could tell the lineman up front, hey, fan, fan, fan. Right guard now has to go get him. The only person we have taken care of is the Mike, but he might fly out to that Y, so this free safety can come back. This Mike could drop out there. He could trigger. So quarterback is still reading the flat defender like he would in stick in a normal air raid where you're running back. If your running back was running the swing route, same thing. Read the flat defender on where he's going. But instead, we are now making an inside zone. So stepping, boom, he is responsible for that, Mike. If he blitzes to come after the quarterback, he is responsible for that guy getting the ball. He's probably going to have to bend it back. If you remember, bang, bend, bounce. He's reading that. So if he likes it, he's going to throw it to the Y. Like if that guy triggers, throw it to the Y. Okay. The vertical, he is doing that to get the corner to look off of him. Now, if for some reason we really, really like it, you could pull an air raid trick and say, hey, think Z or whatever it is, and just say, if he's pressed on, clear that guy, churn, and throw it. They get a one high, churn, throw it. Even though you've tagged an RPO to everything else, tell him to think that. But guess what? What if he doesn't like it? What if he comes up, it's a too high, he doesn't know if he likes it, the corner's really off, he just is not comfortable with it? That means the quarterback still has a way out of this. He goes back to the play. So you could tell him to look at that, okay? Or if you're a coach, tell him to throw it. He just, boom. But calls the play up front. Why do you call the play up front? So let's say you called spread right, inside zone left stick, throw it to the Z. And you're just telling the quarterback that, right? And only the quarterback and the Z have to know, or the Z doesn't have to know at all. To be a disciplined wide receiver, you just never know when that ball is going to come to you. So hopefully, I always told the guys, run your routes hard because you never know when the ball is going to come. I don't care if we run the play 15 times, but the 15th time or the 16th time that we're going to call it, that's the one time you decide not to run your route hard or the right way, and we throw it to you and it's intercepted or you're not in your spot. That is on you, not the quarterback. But what if you tell the quarterback that he comes up and he is just not comfortable with it at all? As a coach, you cannot be mad because we're not on the field with him. They get a different view. We're from the side. They're from the end zone view. He still has a way out. He still has his pre-snap double slant. He still can hand the ball off in the run game. And he has his stick concept. So everything is taken care of. If you're really, really worried about that Mike linebacker, then you can go wing right, inside zone left, stick, and now your wing is taking care of that end. The right tackle and right guard have that in case this Mike loops in. Quarterback is still reading everything the same. So pre-snap, if a guy's sitting here, the slant may not be open. He comes walking down here, and we think we can throw it behind him and likes it. He's going to wave it off and throw it. He still has the RPO stick part. He has the vertical if we tell him to. Now, if the quarterback just throws it without us really consulting with him, that's where you can get a little frustrated. That's where it's coach-quarterback communication, letting them know that we are making that decision. And if something goes wrong, they run the route hard or whatever it is, we take blame for it, obviously. So these are just simple plays of inside zone with an RPO that I personally like. One of the last type of RPOs that I like, let's get rid of all this. You can run smash, some people run smash, still sticking to that air raid stuff. You can run corner. So now your Y is running that corner route. Z is running his sit route. Oh my goodness, it's still double slants on the backside. Okay. And it's inside zone left up front. Okay. Slow play it. Now, again, you got to tell them to slow play it. You don't have a wing or anything, so to kick out. So everything is taken care of. Still reading that window. So this one might take a little more practice, but tell the quarterback, just like on the one we drew up before, look at that window. You're going to read flat defender to open grass, right? So if this guy moves in and sits here, or if he wants to trigger, But this guy's taking that grass because he's triggering seeing this, throw it there. But it's going to, again, really difficult type of throw. I get it. But he's looking to right here. Most time you want to come to that sit route. So another way you can take a pass play and create an RPO. And I know some coaches don't like this because you might get away from traditional air raid and everything else, but you're giving the quarterback open grass area to look to the one person, which I like. I don't want them to read 5 different people, 2 different people. Make sure that end is taken care of. And again, go to a sniffer. You could put the sniffer right here. You can overload that side. Hopefully it opens up the slant. You can put the sniffer here. You can have a wing here. You can go 2 back. Doesn't matter. You can go 2 back right here and the pistol, the queen look or the king look. Does not matter. They can go pick up that defensive end. Okay, so then our right tackle and our right guard are blocking the 3 technique to help hopefully take care of the mic if he's causing problems, if he's a really run heavy guy. And then this can go pick up that defensive end. Running back is doing his step, reading over here, and hopefully it opens up something right there. And once again, repeat myself, quarterback has a way out. You want the quarterback to feel comfortable and have a way out. And if you're running your RPO session, you can take. Now, I know the slip could be its own RPO, the bubble now screen can be its own thing. You don't have to add plays into your playbook here. If this is already in your quick game passing repertoire and your tool belt and your playbook, the receivers aren't learning anything new. Not taking anything away if you want plays to just be RPOs like on their own, because they provide different opportunities and different ways to attack the defense. But now you're not learning anything new for the receivers. You know, if this is your quick game, pass game stuff, but you want to do an RPO one, and okay, so we know stick, we know corner, but our new RPO play is going to be, it's going to be called, Texas. We're going to call it Texas, and they run completely different routes. And there's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of coaches do it, and it works. But if you're dealing with like a rebuilding team, a young quarterback, not a lot of players, and you want to keep it simple, take your quick game here into these simple RPOs, and hopefully life will be good. And so these are just some really different ways that I know to run RPOs. Make sure you guys comment on it to give your opinions on it. What's your type of favorite RPOs? With inside zone, this is not with wide zone. That's completely different. Inside zone is simpler to me. So comment what you think it is, and all that good stuff. So quickish episode here. So make sure if it's the first time watching, like and subscribe. Check out the videos here. It's on Apple and Spotify as well. Rank it, review it, leave a comment on it, and everything else. It helps grow it. This podcast. Again, I cannot stress. Please subscribe and leave comments. Follow at Coach_Steve72 on Twitter, the Coach Steve Show on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Instagram, Coach Steve72, the Coach Steve Show on Instagram, TikTok, Coach Steve72. Check out all that stuff. So I appreciate anybody that's watched or listening. Again, comment, be a part of the conversation. Tell me your favorite type of RPOs with Inside Zone. So thank you for watching and or listening. This is Coach Steve. I will see you next time.